Have you ever been in a relationship that seemed perfectly fine on the outside, but deep down, something just felt off? There were no big arguments, no dramatic breakups, but also no warmth, no spark. Just a quiet sense that something important was missing. What if I told you that most relationships don't fall apart because of big problems, but because of one small, invisible piece that's missing? And most people don't even know it? In this video, we're going to talk about that missing piece. It's something powerful, something that decides whether love grows stronger or quietly fades away. You'll learn how this one thing affects emotional connection, communication, and trust, and why it could be the difference between staying close or drifting apart. Backed by psychology and real insight, this video will change the way you see relationships forever. So stay with me until the end, because once you understand this, everything will click. Welcome to NeuroVista, where we dive deep into the hidden truths about love and connection. If you care about growing stronger relationships, make sure to hit that subscribe button and be part of the journey. Every couple faces challenges, but sometimes it's not the big, dramatic moments that hurt the most. It's the slow buildup of everyday tension. You try to talk, but you feel misunderstood. A small comment turns into an argument, and after a while, the connection that once felt so strong starts to fade. According to the Gottman Institute, the most common signs of a struggling relationship aren't always explosive. It's the subtle things, misunderstandings that pile up, arguments that repeat without resolution, and that quiet distance that grows between two people who used to feel close. You sit across from each other at dinner, but it feels like miles apart. You still love them, but why does it feel harder to connect? And the real question is, if so many couples go through this, why do these problems keep happening? Of all the things couples try to fix, communication, compatibility, even time together, there's one piece that often goes unnoticed. Yet without it, love starts to feel fragile. That missing piece is emotional safety. Emotional safety is what makes you feel secure enough to be fully yourself around your partner. It's the comfort of knowing you can open up, share your fears, your dreams, even your messiest thoughts, without being judged, criticized, or shut down. It's what allows vulnerability to exist without fear. Experts from Psychology Today and Medium agree. Without emotional safety, intimacy can't survive. You might be physically close, even say the right words, but something still feels distant. That's because real connection needs more than love. It needs a safe space to land. Dr. Sue Johnson, one of the leading voices in emotional bonding, describes emotional safety as the heart of secure relationships. She says it depends on three things: accessibility, responsiveness, and emotional engagement. In other words, can your partner reach you? Do they feel you're truly there when it counts? And are you emotionally present, not just listening, but feeling with them? When these things are missing, relationships may still function, but they don't thrive. And many people don't even realize emotional safety is what's missing. They just feel something's wrong, something they can't name, something that quietly changes everything. Without emotional safety, love turns into a guessing game. You start asking yourself questions like, can I really tell them how I feel? Or will they understand me? Or will I be judged? And so you keep quiet. You smile and pretend everything's fine, but deep down, you begin to close off. It's a slow drift, but over time it creates distance. What most people don't realize is that emotional safety is the real foundation of any strong relationship. It's not just about romance or chemistry, but about feeling secure enough to be vulnerable. When you feel safe with someone, you stop worrying about how your words will land. You start showing your true self, the raw, messy parts you've been hiding. And instead of being met with criticism or rejection, you find presence, you find understanding. This is where trust begins. Real trust, not just built on time together, but on mutual honesty and the freedom to speak without fear. And trust leads to connection, deep connection. It's not just about getting along or sharing similar hobbies. It's about being able to sit in silence together and still feel emotionally close. That's what emotional safety does. It allows for open, honest conversations that go beyond surface-level talk and build something solid and real. Psychologists agree. Emotional safety is essential for effective communication. When you feel safe, you listen more actively, not trying to win the conversation, but to understand the other person's point of view. There's less defensiveness and more empathy. Communication stops being a battle and becomes a tool for deeper connection. But when emotional safety is missing, the opposite happens. Small issues become huge problems. One wrong word, one offhand comment, and suddenly you're in the middle of a full-blown argument. Partners get defensive, pull away, and misunderstandings pile up. You talk, but it feels like you're not really hearing each other. Instead of building connection, you're slowly building walls between you. This is how love fades, not through big betrayals or dramatic breakups, but through quiet disconnection. And the scariest part? Often you don't even realize it's happening. You think things are fine until one day it feels like you've drifted apart. Emotional safety is the thread that holds everything together, and without it, the connection starts to unravel. So now that you know what emotional safety is and why it's crucial, the question becomes, how do you create it? It's not a one-time fix or a magic trick. Emotional safety builds over time through consistent actions, not just words. It starts with being present. Are you truly there? Not just physically, but emotionally? When your partner is speaking, do you really listen? Or are you waiting for your turn to speak, too focused on your response? Creating emotional safety begins with showing up and staying open. Dr. Sue Johnson says it's about accessibility, responsiveness, and emotional engagement. That means when your partner reaches out, whether it's for comfort, a shared joke, or even to express frustration, you're there, you're accessible, and you're responsive. You acknowledge what they're saying, even if you don't fully agree. When they're vulnerable, you engage. You show empathy, not judgment. But it doesn't stop there. To really create emotional safety, you have to be able to handle discomfort. Sometimes your partner might express feelings that challenge you. Maybe they need reassurance, or maybe they've hurt you. If you react defensively, you shut down the emotional safety. But if you can stay calm, listen, and work through it together, you reinforce that emotional safety with every conversation. It's about consistency. A single moment of emotional security won't transform your relationship overnight. But every time you show up, listen, and engage, you create a stronger, safer space for your love to grow. And here's the kicker. Creating emotional safety isn't just about fixing problems when they arise. It's about knowing how to build a foundation that prevents problems from spiraling in the first place. When both people feel heard, respected, and safe to be vulnerable, they don't have to guard themselves or hide their feelings. They can trust each other to be there, no matter what. Let's take a look at Sarah and Jake. They've been together for a few years now. At first, their relationship felt like the perfect love story, until the tension started to creep in. They'd argue over small things, like who forgot to take out the trash, or whether they should spend their weekend with friends or family. It was nothing huge, but it was constant. Over time, they noticed something strange. They weren't as close as they used to be. Jake would shut down during arguments, and Sarah would try to fix everything too quickly. They both felt unheard. Neither was really listening, at least not in the way they needed. And that emotional wall between them started to grow higher and higher. Then, one day, they had a conversation about it. Sarah admitted she felt disconnected, and Jake realized that he had been avoiding vulnerability for fear of being judged. But instead of falling into a pattern of blame, they decided to do something different. They started creating a space where both of them could speak openly, without fear of judgment. They took small steps to show up emotionally for each other. It wasn't easy at first, but slowly, things started to shift. Jake started to engage more, sharing not just his thoughts, but his deeper fears and feelings. He'd let Sarah in on what had been bothering him, no matter how small or uncomfortable. And Sarah stopped rushing in to fix things. Instead, she listened. She created space for Jake to express himself, without jumping in to offer solutions or take control. She was there, really there, and it made all the difference. The change was noticeable. Their conversations became more meaningful. They found themselves laughing more, having deeper discussions, and reconnecting in ways they hadn't in months. Their intimacy grew, not just physically, but emotionally. They could trust each other more. They felt safer opening up, knowing they wouldn't be judged or criticized. As a result, conflicts became less frequent, and when they did occur, they were resolved faster. There was no longer the rush to defend themselves or to blame the other person. Instead, they communicated with patience and understanding. Arguments didn't escalate because they had the tools to resolve them calmly and respectfully. Their partnership grew stronger. They no longer felt like they were on opposing sides, trying to win. They felt united, with their bond deepening every day. It was as if the emotional safety they built became the solid ground on which they could stand together. To wrap things up, emotional safety isn't just a nice-to-have in relationships. It's the foundation. Without it, trust erodes, communication falters, and connection fades. But when it's present, everything changes. It transforms the way you interact, how you solve problems, and how deeply you connect with each other. Now, take a moment to think about your own relationships. Do you feel safe enough to be vulnerable? Are you creating a space where your partner feels heard and understood? If not, it's time to make a change. Remember, emotional safety isn't built overnight, but every small step you take toward it will make your relationship stronger. So take the first step today. Start showing up, start listening, and start being present in a way that fosters safety and trust. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel, NeuroVista, for more insights on creating deeper, more meaningful connections. And we'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. How do you create emotional safety in your relationships? Let's keep the conversation going.